how Shiloh Sanders and Coach Prime changed the life of an African athlete forgotten by the system. In the glittering, often ruthless world of American football, stories of stardom usually begin on high school fields in Georgia, Texas, or Florida. But sometimes, a story emerges that defies all conventions, boundaries, and assumptions. A story that reminds us that greatness can begin in the most unexpected corners of the world. This is one such tale. It doesn't begin with five-star rankings or draft day fanfare. It begins with a young Egyptian boy, a dream too big for his reality, and two men, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and his son, Shiloh, who saw a diamond in the rough before anyone else dared to. Yehia Attia, now a redshirt freshman at the University of Colorado, was not born into the system. He didn't have early access to elite camps or powerhouse coaching staffs. Born in Egypt and raised partly in Vienna, Yehia began his athletic journey playing soccer. But at 6 feet 4 inches and 330 pounds, his size set him apart, for better or worse. He didn't quite fit the mold for a midfielder, and soon he discovered that his body wasn't a disadvantage. It was his calling card. It wasn't long before Yehia transitioned to American football, joining the Vienna Vikings, one of Europe's most respected football teams. From there, his raw talent took him to Loughborough's NFL Academy in England, where his skills were refined, and his dream of playing in America grew stronger. The academy had produced dozens of college athletes in the U.S., but Yehia's dream still seemed a long shot. Programs were hesitant. He lacked the buzz, the media coverage, and the instant metrics American scouts often relied on. Then came the moment that would change everything. Yehia, lying in bed one night with his phone unusually not on Do Not Disturb mode, got a call at 9 p.m. On the other end, Coach Prime himself. "Hey, big dog," Deion Sanders greeted him. "I want to offer you." That moment, simple in words but monumental in impact, lit a fire in Yehia's heart that still burns today. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't believe it. The Hall of Famer had just reached out personally, not through assistants or email, but directly. And he wanted Yehia to come immediately. While other Division I programs were circling around, they were hesitant and noncommittal. Many wanted him to wait until January of 2025 to enroll. But Deion, he wanted Yehia on campus within a month. It wasn't just about filling a roster spot. It was about belief, and Coach Prime made it clear that Yehia belonged. "The first big team that showed me real love," Yehia recalled in a podcast interview. "Others just tried to take me away from CU. But Coach Prime was different." But what followed was even more inspiring. Enter Shiloh Sanders. Deion's son, a safety who was carving his own path, stepped in not just as a teammate, but as a mentor, a brother, and a guide. For a young man from Egypt adjusting to the radically different lifestyle of Colorado, Shiloh's support became a lifeline. He drove Yehia home when he needed a ride, helped him adjust to the American way of life, welcomed him like family. And to Yehia, that meant more than any scholarship ever could. "Shiloh was there for me, always," Yehia said. "Even when it felt strange at first, he and Shadur helped me feel like I belonged." That kind of bond isn't common in college football, especially between stars and rookies, and especially across such cultural divides. But Shiloh never treated Yehia like an outsider. He treated him like a little brother. Their friendship didn't end on the field. Even after Shiloh left Colorado and joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a free agent on a $2.96 million contract, he stayed in touch. In fact, just recently, he called Yehia and invited him to Tampa to hang out, do some live streams, and catch up. And Yehia, overwhelmed with gratitude, posted a photo on Instagram, seated in what appeared to be Shiloh's luxury Mercedes, with the caption, "Shout out to Big Bro at Shiloh Sanders." That post wasn't about flexing cars. It was about flexing loyalty. It was about appreciating the man who stood by him when most didn't even notice him. Meanwhile, Shiloh's own journey is entering a critical chapter. Despite being undrafted, he's already winning hearts and turning heads in Tampa Bay. Head coach Todd Bowles has praised his intelligence and vocal leadership, saying, "He's very intelligent, very loud. You can hear him making calls and everything." That's high praise in a defensive room that already includes standout talents like Antoine Winfield Jr. and Tyke Smith. Shiloh may be further down the depth chart, but he's made it clear he's here to earn, not be handed, his spot. They gave me a shot when no one else did, Shiloh said in an interview. I'm forever grateful to the Buccaneers, and I'm just going to do everything I can to help this team win. It's that same underdog mentality that allowed him to spot greatness in Yehia Attia. Because sometimes, it takes someone who has walked through fire to recognize the spark in someone else. Shiloh's off-the-field actions are quietly becoming as impactful as anything he does between the lines. In a sport driven by ego and individualism, he's showing that true greatness lies in lifting others up. And then there's Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. The man who could have easily passed on a no-name kid from Europe. The man who could have left recruiting to his assistants. The man who instead chose to make a late-night call that changed someone's life forever. His coaching philosophy is simple but powerful. Find the overlooked, believe in them, and give them a platform to become something great. For Yehia, the journey is far from over. He redshirted his freshman year, still learning, still adjusting. But he's now walking the hallways of Folsom Field with purpose, no longer invisible. I'm here because someone believed in me when it didn't make sense to, he says. And I'll spend every day trying to honor that belief. In the end, this story isn't just about a football scholarship. It's about what happens when leaders lead with heart, when stars remember the ones still rising, when the spirit of mentorship transcends fame, borders, and expectation. Shiloh Sanders and Deion Sanders didn't just save a football career. They nurtured a soul, ignited a legacy, and proved that sometimes the most powerful plays don't happen under stadium lights, but in late-night phone calls, long drives home, and friendships that stand the test of time. And for Yehia Attia, one thing is certain. He will never forget who saw him before the world did. Chapter 7. Shiloh's Rise in Tampa Bay. While Yehia adjusts to his new life and prepares for the coming season, Shiloh is carving out his own path in the NFL. After going undrafted, the safety signed a $2.96 million deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a free agent. To many, it was a gamble. To Shiloh, it was a chance he never took lightly. They gave me a shot when no one else did, Shiloh said. So I'm going to give them everything I have. In just 2 months, Shiloh has already begun turning heads. Head coach Todd Bowles called him very intelligent and praised his loud leadership on the field. That's no small compliment, especially in a locker room filled with veterans like Antoine Winfield Jr., Tyke Smith, and Kayvon Merriweather. Shiloh knows he's far from the starting lineup, for now, but he's not afraid of the grind. He's been here before, undervalued, underestimated, and now he's about to prove everyone wrong again. Chapter 8. More than football. Perhaps what makes this story truly powerful is how deeply it reflects the Sanders family ethos.